Hi, I'm Victor Agreda Jr, the Editor-in-Chief of the unofficial Apple weblog.
I'm Neil Ticktin, I'm the Editor-in-Chief of MacTech Magazine.
And we're here at the Worldwide Developers Conference 2011, and all day we've been talking to developers about their apps, about the keynote, about everything that's been going on that is not covered under the NDA. And so, Neil, what are some of the things that people have been really jazzed about from the keynote?
It's pretty clear that Apple did a great job of coming out with a number of announcements. Many of them were very evolutionary in nature. And the end result of it is that there's almost a little bit of a revolutionary step that's gone on here because there's so many little evolutionary steps that are going to just make the Mac a whole big step better, or the Apple platforms a whole big step more easy to use. And so developers have been talking about how great it is to have iCloud, how great it is to have the iOS devices at the same level, the notification manager, some of the different APIs that are being added in here. All across the board, it all comes down to better user experience through a better thought out API, through a better thought out delivery of user interface, that developers and Apple are working together to give the users the best experience that they could possibly have.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Mike Zorn and I were talking about before the interview about how a few years ago Apple suggested that people should do sync through MobileMe and like iDisk, and it was this really kludgy thing. And of course, everyone knows by now, or if you've read it anyway, it's indelible in your mind that Steve cussed out basically the MobileMe team many years ago and said, this is not what we should be putting out there. This is not our finest hour. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And so I think that they've come full circle, and I think they've said that, look, this is a problem. And all these companies are trying to fix it, Dropbox and whatnot, but everyone's sort of coming at it from the wrong angle.
Right.
And in typical Apple fashion, they've solved not only a consumer problem, but a developer problem, which is going to make consumer problems, go away in many cases. And I think that more than anything, developers were finding that iCloud was this great solution for them. And it's going to be great for their customers, and that seems to be what Apple's forte is finding that. But the one thing that I didn't hear was gestures in Lion. Nobody seemed to care.
Yeah, I think that is going to be on an app-by-app basis. There's a lot of different gestures. There's a lot of things to people to think about, and it is being overshadowed by iCloud. And what's interesting about iCloud is that it's not so much about being a competitor to Dropbox or some of the other products that are out there that do this kind of file sharing or propagation, kinds of things, or cloud storage. It's not about cloud storage for documents and whatnot. It's not about competing with Google Docs or anything along those lines. What it's about is providing a seamless experience for a user, for the developer, giving the developer tools in order to get data that comes from any of the Apple devices, whether it's an iOS device like the iPhone or the iPad or the iPod Touch, on over to the Mac or vice versa. But just making sure that if you're a good Apple customer and you have all these devices, your stuff's just in all these places. Yep. And it's a different approach to the cloud structure on it.
And you've probably seen this too in the enterprise space, is that you always, and Apple seems to help guide people in this way, the people who sort of produce for their products, right? Whether you're an IT admin or whether you're a developer of an app, you always have to keep the consumer in mind. By consumer, I mean this could be an 80-year-old woman who buys an iPad versus where you are, which is so focused on what's going on. I mean, there are people out there who have been using Line for a while, but they're taking this stuff for granted. So I'm really not surprised that people didn't talk about gestures, because I've been getting used to this for a while. Yeah. You know what? But for the average consumer, this is something to come. It could be, it could be a big deal. It could be not a big deal. Right. So I think that Apple does a good job of saying, it's like, keep that consumer in mind, keep that average person in mind.
Well, it's interesting because we've had what some people have called the consumerization of enterprise. And it's interesting, at the last MacTech conference and at our boot camp events, one of the topics that we hear a fair amount about is, okay, so some exec, CEO has walked in, they got their iPhone, they got their iPad, they even are saying, I want my MacBook Air kind of thing, and maybe their IT department has been Windows only, or not about mobile devices, or only a BlackBerry, or whatever the case may be. Well, the CEOs are going, you know what, I actually signed the checks, and this is what I want because of the consumerization and the effects that they've gotten as a consumer consumer out of it. So you have this consumerization of enterprise and business that people are going through and doing. And the IT guys and the consultants, the ACNs, and all these types of people out there that provide support, they're going, how do we deal with this? So there's a lot of opportunity out there for people to learn and whatnot. And they're doing that, some here at WWDC this week. They do it some through Apple certification programs. They do it through some of the MacTech events like boot camp and conference, but that's the opportunity for people out there.
Yeah, I actually know of a company, which I will remain nameless, but I know of a company.
It's a better story that way.
Yeah, exactly. But they started implementing Macs, and they started allowing iPhones instead of BlackBerries because the CEO's wife got a Mac for Christmas, and then she got an iPhone, and she starts bugging her husband like, "Why are you carrying around that piece of crap BlackBerry?"
There you go.
And so he's like, "IT department, this is what we're doing." And that's what they did.
And there you go.
So speaking of MacTech, though, we've got MacTech coming up, the conference coming up in November.
Yep. So we got a whole bunch of things going on.
Before then,
Yeah. So we did. We've already done 3 boot camps this year. Boot camps are for MacTech boot camps are for people that are supporting the small to medium-sized business, the home users, the basically the smaller organization, consumer level, small business organization, home office kind of thing. And those boot camps have been going around the country. They're regional in nature. We still have coming up Los Angeles at the end of July and Chicago at the end of August for those people that have not had a chance to take advantage of it. And then in November, on November 2nd, 2, 3, and 4, we have MacTech Conference coming back to Los Angeles. It'll be the Sheraton Universal. You guys were there last year. Guy Kawasaki, we've just announced as the keynote address for it. We got speakers that are lining up left and right. It is already looking to be a fabulous event, and we're several months away. So the early bird pricing for that is lasting through the end of this month in June. There's hotel block discounts and all that kind of stuff, but I expect these things are going to start selling out and going away, so people should be taking advantage of that. So that's what's going on with the event side of things, and it's been busy.
I can only imagine. And then you have another thing.
Yeah. So one of the things that happens, and it's interesting because as MacTech Magazine, we get a couple of different kinds of people asking us questions. One type of person is, consumers, people that we know who are maybe not geeks themselves, not techs themselves, but they're they're either in the technology space or they're, a restaurant owner. They're just people that we know. And they say, I have an idea for an app. Or do you know a consultant that can help me with this? Or we need to put an Exchange compatible server in place. Can you help us, find somebody to do that kind of thing? And we get these questions every day. I mean, just constantly. All our people are getting these questions all the time. Well, in addition to that, the consultants that are out there, the IT pros, the enterprise, the developers, anybody who's in the market, they're getting the questions. They come to us and they say, "Hey, I'm getting these questions about how to develop an app. Do you have any ideas as to what we should do?" Well, after this has been going on for a while, we finally figured out a way to do something that we've been wanting to do for a while. And so this week we've started talking about MacTech Match. And you can see more of it at MacTechMatch.com. But the idea is that if you're somebody who has an idea for an app, either an iOS app or a Mac app, or if you're somebody that needs a consultant of some type, you come to MacTechMatch.com, you are able to get to the right page to find out information about what you're trying to do, and then from there we help match you with somebody who's technical. And this is great not just for those people at the end, but for, again, the geeks in the market, the techs in the market, who just want to have an answer of, how do I give somebody advice? How do I make sure that they have some way to trust? So right now we're signing up developers, signing up techs, signing up IT pros, and support people onto the MacTech Match program. And then this summer we're going to start matching.
That's fantastic. And it seems like somebody would have done this already.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard behind the scenes. The question is when you go to do something, how do you just make it transparent and easy, for somebody? Much in the way that we just saw with iCloud.
Yep.
This is what we're doing with MacTech Match.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm forgetting?
We've we got some great stuff going on with the magazine itself in print and online. In print, those people that this week and over the next little bit of time in here, we'll give people a little bit of time to take advantage of it. Anybody who is seeing this podcast or screencast, in addition to that, those people that have been here at WWDC, they're leaders in the industry. So we want to make sure they get a chance to see the magazine. They can sign up for a free trial subscription that'll give them an idea of what it is. They don't have to pay anything until they're ready to go to the next level. All they have to do is go to MacTech.com/WWDC and they can sign up for it. So go ahead and sign up. Don't wait. Go sign up right now.
That's right. I mean, people are getting free magazine here,
right?
But you know, MacTech.com/WWDC.
Absolutely.
And then you can have a little free trial subscription.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
And, you know, for those of you that haven't seen it, go check out the new TUAW web design. It's a great look and feel that they've just implemented in there. It's a lot easier to find stuff. And so for the MacTech and the Mac News readers who haven't had a chance to see TUAW recently, go check it out again.
Not just in your RSS reader.
Not just in your RSS reader.
All right, Neil, thanks a lot, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool. And this is Victor Agreda, and
I'm Neil Ticktin
with TUAW and
MacTech Magazine.
And we're here at WWDC 2011, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for